All right, we're back at REIQ and again with the CEO, Antonia Mercorella. And Antonia, today we're going to talk about the New Property Occupations Act and what does it mean for salespeople in our industry. Tell me about some of the changes for salespeople.
All right, so let's start with the appointment process. What it means is that the process for being appointed to provide property sales services is simpler. And it's simpler for a range of reasons. First of all, the new appointment form you need to use, which is called a Form 6, is just a simpler document to complete.
Okay.
So that's a great start. And in addition to that, the actual, so the Property Occupations Act sets out a bunch of criteria that you need to be able to meet when you fill out an appointment. And that's simpler as well. So what it means is that some technical requirements that currently exist will go from post 1 December. And so a really great example is when at the moment under the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act, even though when you complete the appointment, you have to specify what services you're going to be providing, but then it requires you to go that one step further and actually detail how you're going to provide those services. Now, we know of instances where agents have skipped that step and not outlined that, and the appointment's been invalid. So we've been able to get rid of that second requirement to specify how.
Gotcha.
Because at the end of the day, you're being engaged to sell a property, you tick the box to say that that's what you're being engaged to do, and that should suffice.
And there are so many variables.
Correct. So that's a great example of some red tape reduction, and again, where it just makes life simpler and it takes away those the potential risk to lose the ability to get your commission at the end of the day. And then also what we've seen as well is we know that at the moment you're limited to 60 days. For a sale of a residential property, you've got 60 days. And we know that depending on what's happening in the market, 60 days is often not really long enough. So we've been able to get that up to 90 days.
Good news.
So that's good news for a residential property sales sole or exclusive agency agreement. You can go to 90 days and then you can basically do a reappointment for a further 90 days and so on if you and your client agree.
Nice.
And that reappointment process is also far easier under this new legislation as well.
I think it's contained in the document itself.
That's
yeah.
right. So there's a section in the new Form 6 which deals with reappointments, and if really all you're looking to do is just reappoint for a further 90 days or 60 days or whatever the case might be, you simply fill out that box and away you go.
Nice.
So it's nice and simple.
Nice. Okay. So lots of red tape disappeared out of the new stuff. In terms of sort of 90 days, that's a nice change. I guess the thing that's going to threaten some people will be this new commission arrangement that's in place. I know lots of people for a long time have been sort of hiding behind this. Well, we charge REIQ scale. Of course,
Yes.
there was no such thing.
That's right. Look, I think commission deregulation, there's two camps on that one. You've got the agents who are really thrilled about it, very much looking forward to it, love the idea of contractual freedom. But I suppose there are some agents out there who have come to enjoy and rely on, I guess, the security blanket, if you like, of the statutory cap that exists at the moment. But as you say, there is a misconception that currently there is regulated commission rates or approved commission rates, and that's not the case. And agents need to actually be very careful about making statements like that, because what we know is that the Act says you can charge whatever commission you and your client decide, but the only sort of qualification to that is that it's capped at a certain level. So that cap will disappear, and it will mean that you can come up with commission rates that reflect the level of service that's being expected of you. So we talked about this at today's session. You might have a client who expects superior quality services, who wants the absolute Rolls-Royce treatment. And so that agent and that client can devise a commission structure that reflects that. But similarly, we know that there are some clients out there who might just be happy with something cheap and cheerful. They're looking for something very cheap. They're looking for perhaps the bare minimum. And if an agent is prepared to work at that level, fabulous. They can come up with a commission structure that reflects that. But I guess the other thing that commission deregulation does is it creates an opportunity to be creative with the way you come up with your commission. So if you and your client are sitting down and you want to base it on You've got a client who says to you that they're after a really speedy sale, that's really critical. You can come up with a commission rate that says, if I sell it for you and we get an unconditional contract within 4 weeks, I want this commission. I want a premium. And if it's after that, it drops down to this. Or if you can get me in excess of the price that I'm telling you I want, then I'll pay you extra commission. So it lets you be really creative with what you come up with. It's only limited by your imagination. And it's I actually think it's a really exciting time.
I think it's extremely healthy, and I think for an industry where we are supposed to be creative people, to actually put that into the commission structure, whether it's a success fee or performance fee or whatever it's based around, is there's so much freedom that's in there now. So well done to you, well done to the government for putting something like that together. I guess lots of people will be challenged by the fear now that commission rates will drop, and we've seen different things happen in different states.
That's right.
Got any thoughts on that?
Look, I think the market will determine what it's prepared to pay. It's simple economics. I think, look, there's no doubt in my mind we will see some agents coming out very strong on 1st of December, going really hard to charge some premium commission rates. And then we'll have some agents who perhaps tread very carefully, and I suspect we'll have a whole bunch who will probably want to stick to what is the current cap and use that as a bit of a security blanket before they're willing to branch out and do something a little bit more daring. In any market, and even now with the statutory cap, you've still got a situation where some agents are prepared to offer cheaper commission rates. That's just the reality.
They can do that now.
They can do that now. So I think agents will find their feet. It will take a little bit of time. What we've been encouraging real estate professionals to do is use this time before the 1st of December is upon us. Take the time to sit with the people in your office, have the conversation, do some role plays around it, decide what sorts of commission structures you want to come up with. Start to become more comfortable with the notion of deregulated commission and what it means. So I think if you're out there, you want to be able to speak confidently to it. You want to be in front of a client. You want to be able to explain that actually commission is completely deregulated. This is what I want to charge you for these reasons. If you pay me that commission, this is what you'll get for that. And look, at the end of the day, a client will determine whether they're prepared to pay that.
Absolutely. It isn't, this isn't a one-size-fits-all business. And so there is that ability under this new regime to say, well, I'd like the burger, or I'd like the burger with the lot.
Exactly.
And negotiate around that. So I think that's pretty cool.
And I think at the end of the day, clients generally, when you engage a real estate agent, particularly when it comes to sales, you're engaging them because they're experts at negotiation. Across the board, whether you're engaging them to sell or lease, you're engaging them because they're professionals and because they have great negotiation skills. So this is the perfect opportunity to demonstrate that to a potential client, to say, let me show you what a great negotiator I am. Let's start by me negotiating the commission I want you to pay me, because then that gives you some insight into how good I'm going to be at negotiating for you if you engage me.
Fantastic. Antonia, I know some people have said, shouldn't the REIQ come out and say, here's a set fee, we recommend it be 2% or 4%, and I know you've got an opinion on that of the REIQ not taking a position and saying this is a fee.
I've got a pretty strong view on this for a range of reasons. I think, I think the days of REIs coming out and providing recommended or approved commission rates, that's well and truly a thing of the past. From a legal perspective, I think that's quite risky. So I don't think that that's something that we as the peak body should be doing. And I think at the end of the day, we've been supportive of contractual freedom. We're about contractual freedom. We fought really hard to get rid of so many obstacles and so many limitations that the Property Agents and Motor Dealers Act imposes. So it would be wrong of us to suddenly step in when government has finally taken away those shackles and say, now we're going to present you with a new structure that we say is what you should be using. So yes, we appreciate that some agents are nervous about it and they would like some guidance from us, but at the end of the day, it's really a case of wait for 1 December. We'll soon see the lay of the land. In a few months, it will settle down. As I say, we will certainly be doing some more training courses on this issue. We've already done, when we knew commission deregulation was coming, we've already started to do some training. Malcolm Riley's done some training for us on that. We'll be doing more of that in the future. But it's really about being brave, and it's about recognising that you are an expert negotiator, and here's your chance to be a negotiator for yourself.
Fair enough. Antonia, I know one of the other hot topics is this issue of pricing, of quoting prices. And I'd like to come back and do a separate video just about that to get you be clear on what agents can and can't do in terms of price representation, because it's a big issue.
It is a big issue.
And I know people in different camps, and there's lots of misinformation, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, on how far agents can go to understand that. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. No, look, I actually appreciate any opportunity to provide some accurate information on this issue, because I do think there's been some misreporting on this issue.